Superior attack!
Welcome back to Superior Tech, the gaming information area that goes through so many numbers so fast that if Archimedes was here, his heart would swell with pride and explode. But it can't because he's already dead. I am Respecugnize, and this is Reaper. So Reaper here is super emo. So Reaper is a very basic character. We're not going to have to do 2 videos on him because there just isn't that much tech and that many numbers to go through. I mean, he doesn't even have an alternate fire on these hand cannons here. And that's where we're going to start. We're going to start with these Hellfire shotguns, these 2 hand cannons in front of Reaper here. They are, as I've said, shotguns, and so we know where this character is going. So let's look at that. There's 2 to 7 damage per pellet, and that depends on body shots versus headshots, and also this is one of the characters that has fall-off damage. That range is 11 to 20 meters, meaning if you're shooting out to that distance, you're not going to get as much damage even if you do hit. There is a 20.1 degree spread on those shots. There are 20 pellets per shot, 8 shots split between the 2 shotguns, so 4 shells in each shotgun. The rate of fire is 2 shots per second, and the reload time is 1.5 seconds. They do in fact headshot. So if we look at those, we're just going to spread those. And the other thing is Reaper is super rich and doesn't care about anything being emo, and so he does New York reloads. He just simply throws the guns out and he pops out other ones. Don't ask where he holds them. So moving on through the kit, we're going to go to left shift, which is Wraith form. It is a 50% movement increase that makes you completely invulnerable. The duration is 3 seconds, or until canceled. You can cancel without a primary fire, which is left click, and the cooldown on it is 8 seconds. So the important things to remember about this is you are invulnerable. You cannot pick up health packs. You cannot fire while in it, and if you are stunned, you can't initiate it, and if you are trapped, you can't initiate it either. So flashbangs, brigettas, shield bash, the steel trap from Junkrat, all of those will stop you from doing it. But we'll go ahead and take a look at it. So you just simply hit left shift, and you're going to float around. So another thing to remember about that is while you are using Wraith form, it will automatically reload your shotguns. As far as what the enemy sees, you're just this kind of ghost floating around. So we'll go into Shadow Step, which yeah, it's another Blizzard term, right? That's one of those rogue things. So Shadow Step is a 35 meter maximum range teleport. It has a casting time of 2.5 seconds. The duration after the 2.5 seconds is 2 seconds. So it is a very slow thing to use. And the cooldown is 10 seconds so that you can't spam it. So you press E. It's going to come up with this particle and swirly smoke effect that is bright purple. You simply put it where you want to be. And you press E. It is a super situationally used thing, and it is very touchy. So you see that dot, you see it's jumping around. You have to be very careful and very precise as to where you put that thing before you use it. But it you just put this wherever you want to be, and you press E. I'm pressing E. I'm sorry. You press primary, and he's going to teleport. So that's about it for that. It is very situational, and I guess at the end of the video we'll go through the tech for that. So for the last of the numbers, we need to go ahead and look at his passive and also build up some ult charge. So we'll run around and do that. As far as passive, 20% of the damage you do in any way, using your ult, using your Hellfire shotguns, or using melee, is going to be given to you in health. So that will bring us to our ult. Now that we got that up, the ultimate is Death Blossom. It does 170 damage per second to a maximum total of 510 damage, split between all of the enemies you do hit with it. It slows your movement down to 3 meters per second. It has an area of effect of 8 meters, and the whole event takes 3 seconds. It cannot headshot. So to build up that ult, you're going to need 1,812.5 points, and he builds ult at 1% every 3.625 seconds, plus, of course, whatever you're getting from doing damage. So Death Blossom is one of the easy mode, I call it Q kills. You simply go into the middle of a bunch of enemies and you press Q. He's going to spin around shooting his shotgun, screaming more of his emo nonsense, and hopefully you have wiped an entire team, which is very simple. Alright, so as you can tell, I'm not very impressed with Reaper. He does have some purpose. Reaper is primarily a tank killer, especially a Roadhog killer. He is just deadly to that character. Of course, Roadhog being a huge hitbox, almost impossible to miss with these shotguns, deals very low damage, and of course you're getting 20% of your health back while you're shooting things, so you can basically go toe-to-toe with Roadhog. And before any of the Roadhog players start screaming about his damage, yes, I realize that the hook and cook combo does do a lot of decent damage. It is bursty, but the fact of the matter is Reaper pretty much an anti-tank character, deadly to Winston, deadly to Roadhog, not so much with D.Va because she has the ability to escape. But with that, the way I want you to play Reaper is you need to be using a lot of corners, picking your characters, and then coming out and trying to instantly get your headshots. Besides that, he's a very sneaky character. That's why they give you Wraith form to get in and get out, also to travel quickly between two places. And while I'm not a big fan of the Shadow Step, it does have some purposes. There are some maps like Ilios, Well, Lighthouse, in particularly where you have a lot of line of sight that you can use to not be seen. Shadow Step will allow you to flank teams. So let's say, for instance, we have this bot here. He's going to be coming out of there, right? And we know that. If we can line of sight him here, we can teleport here and then get behind that character and execute. So basically, if we had not done that, he would have come down here on a patrol, or let's say it was an enemy hero and not just a bot. Running down here would have seen us and got the drop on us. Because we know that he's going to move in this direction, we can effectively use Shadow Step to get here. He actually never knew we were there, so he then doesn't know that we teleported here. We're behind them, and we get in. Shadow Step can also be used to set up that Death Blossom ultimate. Most people are just going to use Wraith form. Wraith form gets you in quicker, and it doesn't have a startup delay and doesn't let them know you're coming, except when you're already in. So if let's say we had the ult up, and I guess we can get it up real quick. Okay, so if we use Shadow Step to get into the middle of this group here, there's a couple of things. One, we have to have line of sight to where we're going. So we are sitting here like this, and we would have to teleport. So they see us teleport in, and then I'm here. Now, if they weren't very situationally aware, then of course that's going to work. And if you can get the Shadow Step to a perfect place before anyone notices you're there, and blah 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 blah, then you could in fact execute that perfectly. Which is why most people are actually just going to go with Wraith form, because ultimately, even though they can see you coming, you can cancel it at any point within there, and for the most part, it's a 50-50 chance of whether you're going to be using Wraith Form or not anyway. Or, I'm sorry, it's a 50-50 chance of whether you're going to be using Death Blossom. So you could be using Wraith Form to evade, you could be using Wraith Form to get in there and get some shotgun, or you could be Wraith Forming in the Death Blossom. That basically is going to keep the enemy team on their toes, and they don't really know where you're going with it. So, effectively, that is Reaper here. He's a very simple character, and in many ways, as a tank hunter, he has his little niche spot, but that is effectively being replaced with the new meta with Hanzo, which we'll be looking at later, because he is an absolute beast when it comes to killing tanks now. So, if there are any updates to Reaper, I'll do a video to change things up. And the same thing, if I've made any mistakes with the numbers that you guys see, send me a whisper, a tell, a DM, give me a call, let me know. I will come in and immediately change it. Be patient, of course, because I'm not the best player. I'm just trying to get there.
Respecugnize game when I get on the move. Respecugnize game on Twitch and YouTube. Respecugnize, we the cool for the new and old school. I'ma show you how to do it when I